Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope your week is going well. Today I'm going to take a look at the IXON Cloud, a remote access device. Now, if you remember, we actually had them on the show to go through this entire product line, and it has some great features for OEMs. But today I'm just going to look at it like it's a regular off-the-shelf remote access device. And so we'll connect it up to a network that I have a bunch of Allen Bradley PLCs on that I'm using for my Factory I/O course. And we'll see if we can't remotely connect it, and we'll see how easy it is. Now, I do want to say this. IXON, I reached out on LinkedIn. We've had so many people on the show, Rockwell and Siemens and Moxa and ProSoft, talking remote access. But the only ones who responded to my request to get a sample was IXON, in appreciation for them sending us in late last year. I'm making this video public for everyone. I'll do an after show for the members, but in any case, I did want to thank the folks over at IXON for, getting back to me, and responding to me. They were the only ones. Nobody else got back to me, and sending in this sample. This is, I think, about, I'm going to say $700 to $900 device. The one thing that really attracts me about this, having, a lot of those companies have great products, but is the fact that there's not a user fee every year. So if you, let's say you have an OEM and they have 3 or 4 people who may need to remote access it, you don't have to pay 3 or 4 licenses that allow those maintenance electricians, maybe for the OEM, to connect to the end user and check on the machine. And like I said, you want to watch the whole podcast if you want to know about their data collection capabilities, reporting capabilities, machine analytics. I think they have some great stories on how those analytics can really help drive value for the customer, actually sell more machines, because you can prove, hey, it's working. We have all these machines out there that are working and they have, 99% uptime or whatever. But in any case, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And if you're interested in becoming a member and getting access to the deep dive I did on DeviceNet, or the after show I did on the Eaton CodeSys PLC, or all the other videos I did this year just for members only, please check us out, theautomationblog.com/join. You can join up at YouTube as well. If you watch this on YouTube, there's a join button right there. You can join there too. I actually lowered the getting the initial level to $5. So we have $5, $10, $25. And we have a Discord now. So if you haven't used Discord, it is an awesome way to chat with folks. And so we now have our own Discord. Depending on what level you are will depend on how much access you get. And I do Wednesday nights. I jump on Discord along with a meeting for my students every Wednesday night to field questions. So if you want to jump into that, please let us know. That's, I think, the level 25. And a lot of times when I'm doing new videos, I give them to, at the automation school. I also give them to the members as well. So with all that said, right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. And let me put my glasses on first. And then I'm going to switch the camera over to the overhead cam here. And I have not opened this. I have no idea what's in it. But in any case, I think it'll be fun to take a look at this guy here. And it seems to have a lot of good, referrals on LinkedIn. A lot of people, just regular, users out there, saying they really like the company. They like using the product. So, and you can see there it says, number one in industrial IoT, the number one industrial IoT solution. So I think that gets back into some of that, those features that are really great for OEMs. I guess that could be great for end users too. But in any case here's a picture of it. I like to really take a look at the box, because when you get these, a lot of products just come in a brown box, right? But this product actually comes in a nice, almost like a retail package, which I like. So you can see here, 8 gigabit buffer, advanced firewall. That's always important. Managed from the cloud. Online in just 1 minute. Interesting. Edge analytics. All kinds of good stuff here. Not much on the back. Maybe my serial number and pod number. This is an evaluation kit plus power supply. Oh, okay. So I imagine if you were looking at getting a bunch of these, you could get one of these from IXON as well. So let me zoom out there a little bit and let's see. I can get this guy open. She's kind of partly open. I actually got delivered to the wrong office here. Had a little kind of a little mini concern there that it was lost in shipping, but we eventually found it. It led to having them renumber a lot of the offices around here, because there was some surprisingly, some duplicate numbers, which is never a good thing in an office complex. But in any case, let me see if I can get that really close to the camera. I'm also trying a different setup today, so I hope it's coming out good. Kind of keep trying new things, see what works, what doesn't work. Okay. Nice clean device. Didn't rail them out. Okay, let's take a look what's on this side. USB, 4G, Wi-Fi. Get your power, and I'm holding it upside down, SD card slot. Excellent. All right, that's a good looking device. All right, let's put that there. Let's put it off to the side here. Now, some of you may be asking, Sean, why do you have a piece of plywood over your workbench? I've been moving a lot of stuff around, and these are newer workbenches. My old one was really scratched up after 10, 12 years, so just trying to take good care of them. And not that they have to be perfect. So in the box, we have one of these, installation manual. Now, I did reach out to, I think it was Brandon, and said, hey, if I get stuck, where's the best place to go? They have a support site at IXON that looks really impressive, but I just wanted to try this out of the box with no pre-knowledge, except for the presentation he did. And so we'll see how far I can get before I dig into the book or into the support site. So, hey, we get the power supply here. On an evaluation kit, this is extremely helpful because that means I don't have to go grab one of the power supplies. They're all being used to power a PLC somewhere. And looks like we got antennas. I would assume this is the Wi-Fi antenna. No, this is the LTE. Now, I'm not going to test that out today because I don't want to fool around with that. I don't even know if I have a SIM I could use for that. I could buy one, but I don't expect, this is, one of the reasons I reached out to people about this is that I had some vendors that say, hey, Sean, can we connect to your wall of hardware? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to give you my VPN that I use for work. It's a kind of a basic VPN. So this will allow me to let vendors connect up and maybe even students connect up to the PLCs I have here. Of course, I don't have the wall behind me. I'm actually going to put the wall of hardware on that wall, but put it on wheels so I can get to the whiteboard if I need to. But in any case, there's no big support beam on that wall. So as finances allow. So I got more dreams than I do have in plans than I do have finances. So there's that little USB stick. Don't know what it's for. See if we can read what it says. Industrial IoT. So we have one. Do we need it? I don't know. Here's the Wi-Fi antenna. Okay, get a look at that. Okay. And a short patch cable. Looks like a 1 meter, 1.5 meter. Just standard Cat 5e patch cord. And this sticker is in case your SIM card is too not wide enough. This will make it thicker. That's what I'm assuming it is from what I'm reading there. Okay, so we're going to leave that in the box. We'll leave this in the box. Well, now we'll probably use it. Let me go back to full screen here. Okay, and might as well use that cable to connect to the internet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect this to the wall, to my switch, to my internet service, and then connect a whole bunch of PLCs to this unit. And then what I'll try to do is connect my computer to my phone's Wi-Fi and see if I can get from my phone Wi-Fi through the cell tower back through the internet to my office network and test it that way. That's not going to be the fastest, of course, test, but I don't want to run, I don't have 2 internet services here, and I don't want to have to run home to test it where I have another high-speed service. So that was my best idea. But I usually have pretty good 5G here, so let me just put this Wi-Fi on, make sure I'm getting it on the right spot. Not sure if I'll be using that, but it's there if I need it. Not sure if I need the USB stick. You know, a lot of devices, they do stand up, so this one didn't, but a lot of devices do. Okay. I do like that they send this over. It's so huge to have it for testing. And again, I really would love to have my students be able to use this to connect to the equipment here. And vendors, if they come on and say, Sean, we don't have a compact or a control Ozrix or an S7, can we remote into one of your PLCs? I think that would be awesome. You know what? Before I put that away, let's put, I don't know if I'm going to need it, but we'll put these things in here. And let's go back to the manual, because I don't know what else to do. What else should we do? Put that foam in there too, keep it all together. And let's switch back to the overhead cam here. And I don't know how, depending on where this camera is installed, how far I can zoom in. Let's see how this does. It does have a limit as how far close it can go. Well, it's looking pretty good. So you can see the model number. It looks like I have the 2415. And 2450. So thank you, IXON, for sending me the top of the line. Really appreciate that, guys. And if anybody from IXON's watching, if I leave something out or you think I should test something, let me know. Factory reset button, SIM card slot. I don't know if it's the table that's shaking or the camera. 4 gigabit ports. All right, so what do we do to get it going? Mechanical installation, electrical installation. Well, it's my first time using it, guys, so we're not doing a SIM card today. Commissioning. All right, this is what we want to learn. I'm glad they have a physical manual in here so I don't have to pull up a PDF on my computer. Yeah, I'm wondering. So, guys, sorry about the shakiness. I don't know what's causing that. I'm thinking it's the table. I must be shaking the table. I'll try not to. I got to create an account on portal.ixon.cloud. Create a config file on the cloud. And then download it to the USB drive. Now we know why we have that. And connect the USB flash drive into the USB of the IXON. It'll register to the cloud immediately. And then when the activity light status is steady blue, the IXON cloud will show up automatically in your company account. All right, so give me a second to get the computer up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm on the computer. I got my browser open, and I'm at theautomationblog.com. I'm in a guest instance of my browser, and so I'm going to go to portal.ixon.cloud, and it looks like I'm going to have to make an account. So create account. And we'll use my email. For the blog. And company name. Registration sent. So I'll be right back because I got to check my email. All right, so I copied the complete registration link out of the email and I'm pasting it here. And registration completed. Continue to log in. And let's go ahead and log in. Do you want to do SMS? Yeah, sure. Okay, I have to go back in the office to grab my phone and the, let me put the code in. I'm pretty sure I got to do add new device. Yep, add new device. Registration via code. Is that something that's on the physical unit? Let's click this little information box. Only for Secure Edge Pro devices. Okay. How about generate USB file? All right, plug her in. Turn that port is already on. Good. Generate configuration file using an Ethernet cable. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Yep, I like all that. That all looks good. The router IP address. Well, that's the default. Let's go with it. No, you know what? All my PLCs are hard set at 192.168.1. So let's make him 2. Okay. Download configuration file. There it is. So that was easy. Now let's go back to full screen here. What is the next step? All right, so I'm going to plug it in and I'll be right back. Okay, I've plugged the power in. I have the USB stick in the unit. I put a little piece of DIN rail on it to try to keep it standing up. Let me go ahead and turn on the power switch. And we can hear bing bing with the computer. And then if everything is working right now, I don't have the PLCs plugged in because they're in the other room. They're in the classroom. So if you do know anybody who wants some in-person training on Siemens or Rockwell PLCs or HMIs, please give them my number because I got a classroom there. We got 4 stations all set up, ready to go. So it could be yourself and 3 of your closest friends. And whether you come in 1 person or 3 person, our cost is still the same, or 4 persons. So it's $900 for the day. Just let me know what you want. Usually ask for about 2 weeks ahead of time notice because to make sure I have everything prepared for you when you come in. We did have a group come in with only 1 week's notice, and there was just some things we couldn't get to, like IO link. It was just not enough time. But in any case, even one-on-one, I also do one-on-one mentoring. So we're looking for the blue light here to go to solid blue, if I remember what the manual said. All right, well, it seemed to take less than, once I stopped blocking it, it seemed to take less than a minute. And so I got to do that. This is a shared office spaces, so I have 4 offices here, but there's other offices on this floor. And so we have to have access control just to make sure nobody connects to the wrong switch in the network closet. And so, yeah, that one, as soon as I allowed it, it was like about a minute, probably less. So in any case, so it should be ready to go now. Now let's go back to the front screen. Now, at this point, what I need to do is I need to move it into the room with all the PLCs, right? And so where I've been doing all of my, Factory IO training courses, I actually have 3 new lessons to upload today on the, which one did I do? It's the tank one. So it's a lot of fun. Filling and discharging tanks. So in any case, I got the Micro 800, the Micrologics and the Control Logics done. I just got to upload them and add them to the course. So that course is available if you want to pick it up right now. So with that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this over there. I'm going to plug it in. I'll see if I can get a camera on it. I don't know if I have that camera plugged in yet, but if it is plugged in, we'll see if we can get a camera on it. And I will be right back. Okay, so I went over to the training room. It's kind of messy, but I just have all these PLCs out because I'm doing Factory IO. And you can see the IXON device right there, kind of in the middle of the screen. You can see I got the solid blue ACK light and the other lights blinking. So basically, I plugged the IXON into the wall, and I plugged one of its local ports, the top port, into the switch with all the PLCs in it. So the only way for me to access the PLCs would be to connect to the IXON device remotely. Then let me come over to my computer here. And I just did a speed test because I connected to my phone. So you can see I have both an Android and an iPhone, but I'm using the iPhone right now. And this was the speeds I got. Okay. And that's not great, but actually for a phone, it's pretty good. So we're down here in the central Berkshires, and we have pretty good 5G for this area. Okay. If you're in a big city, you'll be like, oh, that's horrible. So and then I noticed here when I refreshed, I have this, when I refresh the IXON website, I have the new device there. And I'm just wondering if it'll let me name it. Yeah, let me select it. And we will call it, I don't know, IIA_PLCs. I know Rockwell guys like I'm not going to put PAC in there just to make some Rockwell guys happy. We know Rockwell calls theirs, and some other vendors call their PLCs PACs. But in any case, template, non-group. I'm not going to do anything with that. So let's activate device. Hey, it says successful. That's always a good sign, right? Continue. Okay. And so, yeah, I guess I can, let me just make sure I'm still connected to my phone. You know how that goes? Yep. So now I should be able to connect to it. Oh, let me download the installer for Windows 64. And we'll get that downloaded. It looks like that's coming down really quick. Okay, and that's the VPN client. I actually think I want to put this on my VMware. So let me copy it over to VMware. And I'll be right back because I got to tell VMware to use the wireless instead of the wired. So I'll be right back. All right, so I've set my VMware to be connected to my cell phone's Wi-Fi, and I set it up for DHCP. Very important. I want to show you why I'm saying that. So if we come down here and take a look, first of all, you can see this is the latest speed test I did just a couple seconds ago. This is actually really good for Central Berkshire County. We're not a big city, so that's actually pretty good going through my cell phone. But here's the thing I wanted to talk to you about of why it's important for for me to be DHCP. Now, normally all my PLCs are 192.168.1 dot something, and then all my VMs are 192.168.1 dot something, right? Keeps it very simple. However, if I'm connecting remotely to that network, I can't have the same subnet remotely as I do locally, right? So I can't stay at 192.168.1 on my VM if I'm connecting from it, not from the host, but from the VM to that remote network. And you'll see that right here in their support site. The LAN IP range needs to be different than your remote computer's range. And so that's pretty common, okay, with these types of things. So in any case, because I'm DHCP and I'm getting an IP address from my phone, that's not a concern. But originally I didn't change that. So I was like, what's going on? And then I'm like, oh yeah. So in any case, you can see some other really common sense tips here too that you guys probably all already know. So the next thing I want to talk about is when we're doing Allen Bradley, there's this thing called the Ethernet IP driver. It's it uses UDP. It does an auto browse, and of course that needs a certain port to be open to do. And then this little tech note here talks about making sure that's open. Okay, and so they show how to configure both Factory Talk Links and RS Links Classic, and that port you can see is detailed right here. So we'll actually go in and do that. It's port 44818. And so we'll actually go ahead and set that up here in just a moment. Now I did log into, on my VM, I did log into portal.ixon.cloud. Okay, so you can see that right here. And when I try to connect, it says I haven't installed, and we were running into this issue before. I haven't installed the software, but I had. But I'm running Brave, which is a web browser that doesn't, track you. And, I don't like using the corporate ones because they have all those, they were constantly getting fined for breaking the law. But in any case, because I wanted to make sure I could get this to work, I did fire up Chrome. And let's try connecting through it. You can see here details. And it should connect here in just a few seconds. And it's typically pretty quick, under 10 seconds, and it's connected again. You're probably not going to be going through your phone to connect to your network. So this is going to be a little bit slower than what you're seeing in the field. Maybe you're connected from your office to another office or to a plant, right? So in any case, this should connect in just a moment. Okay, and it's connected. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Now I did want to show you the setup there and how to put that port in. So what I'm going to do here is go over to the apps, and I'm going to go to the Fleet Manager. And I've already added this to save time, but I did want to show you where you find it. I'm going to click on the device here. I'm going to go to network. I'm going to go to LAN, and you'll see it right down here. Okay. And that is what you'll find in that tech note I found over at the support.ixon.cloud website. Okay. If we go back here, you can see that is right connected to your Allen Bradley. It's the first thing right here. Okay. And so in any case, I'm going to go through setting up FactoryTalk links and RS Links Classic. We'll talk about that. So if you want the tech note, you can see it on their website. So let me close that. Now I'm going to open up RS Links Classic to show you I was connected to my network. These are all the PLCs I had open. You know, like I said, I'm doing a Factory.io course. If you don't know what Factory.io is, it's a really cool way to brush up on your programming skills. You can actually create your own factories in it, although there are some limitations. But in any case, I've talked about that in the past. So if you want to know more about that, head over to the Automation School. I get some free preview lessons in those Factory.io courses that you can take a look at to learn more about it. But in any case, if you look here, you can see these are all the devices I had up that I'm just programming with Factory.io or programming these PLCs to control the factories inside of Factory.io. And in any case, what I'm going to do here, because I'm going through a bridge now. I'm going through this IXON router and gateway. So I'm going to go to communications. I'm going to do a configure drivers. I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to start with a new Ethernet IP driver here, right? But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to rename it to IXON. Okay, we'll get that in there. And then here, I'm just going to choose my standard. I'm not going to choose any of these actually. So this is the IXON VPN. I'm actually going to choose remote subnet. And then again, this is according to those support node I just showed you. I'm going to put in 10.187 because that is the IXON VPN network, and I'm going to put in 255.255.0.0. Okay. And so if all works correctly, I should be able to browse this. And because I added that UDP port inside of the device manager there and in my actual IXON device, you can see here I'm seeing all my devices. Okay. Very similar to what I had up here. And now if that doesn't populate, and that can happen depending on how your computer's set up and how Windows set up, they have information on how to go through and open up the firewall and whatnot. But if you're in a rush, we can always do what we always did, right? And that is, we can go to configure drivers and we can just add the PLCs manually, right? Under Ethernet devices. We've talked about this many times over the last 12 years since I launched the automationblog.com and the channel. And I can just add the addresses in here, 192.168.1. I'm going to do a MicroLogix, and I'm going to do my 5380, 192.168.1. I think it's 174 is the one I'm using. So we get those in there. Now this takes a little bit longer to browse. Again, we're going through the phone, but this has to go through. It has to identify what's out there and so on. You can see the 174. That's my L306 ERM from the Experience Kit. Don't know why Rockwell doesn't make that anymore, but that was an awesome kit we covered 12 years ago. And then you get the MicroLogix. It just takes a second to come up, even though it's a simpler device. But in any case, in mere moments, almost there. Come on, baby. You got it. Good deal. So in any case, we get those up. So now let's we'll go online with the MicroLogix first. I didn't even upload the program. I'm just going to go right online. Doesn't matter which one I'm going to go through. Let's go through the Ethernet IP one. And we'll go online. Again, this is a small program. I think it's a total of 2 rungs. We'll go online. And I'm getting an error. I don't know why. Let me try the other one there. Online. And that one worked. Not sure why the other one's not working, but just to keep this brief, I'm going to upload through the Ethernet devices driver, okay? So, and there we are. We're online. You can see the speed of the ladder spinning represents how fast you're communicating. So again, I'm going through my phone, not extremely fast, but I'm online. I could do, well, this is an 1100, so I could do online edits if I wanted to, and so on, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to close Logix out. And let's go now to Studio 5000. Now, I thought it would be probably interesting in Studio 5000 if we used FactoryTalk links. So I'm going to go ahead and go to communications, who active, and I just have whatever the student was working on last time. We had students in here working on that PLC. And here you can see if I go under, Ethernet IP, it's not going to find it because it's on a remote subnet. So let's go ahead and we're going to add in, I'm going to go to configure drivers here. I'm going to add a new Ethernet driver. I'm going to call it Ethernet IP IXON. It's not going to be, it's going to be the broadcast type. It's going to be remote. This is the same stuff I put in classic. And 255.255.00. Okay, great. I'm going to go to advanced. And here, I'm going to leave it as Windows default. We'll see what happens. Okay. And while I'm here, I'm going to add another one. I'm going to leave it as Ethernet. We'll call it Ethernet 0. We're going to do this as the list range, and we'll add the IP addresses again, 192.168.11.111. That's a Micrologix. I really don't need that in there. And then 192.168.1.174, which is the compact Logix I want to connect to. Okay. Okay, so we're good there. Let's close that out. Let's browse the Ethernet devices, a similar driver. And there they both came up. That's great. Now let's see if the browsing's working here. And yeah, I'm not seeing anything come up. Let's see if we can configure it. See if I made any mistakes. Broadcast, that all looks good. Let's try making it use the Ethernet card. We'll give it about 10 seconds. I usually say about 10 seconds for links to find something, but that's not looking good either. Let's go to driver configuration and change that over to the tunnel, the tap. And still, items are starting to come in. Oh, and then it reset. That's weird. Well, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why it's resetting. Let's see if we can go on. Whoops, see, it did it again. Let's see if we can hurry up and go online with this guy. 174, let's go online. I already have the program open that's in that controller just to save time. Again, you're not going to see, especially if you're in pre-34. If you remember from the interview I did with Rockwell for version 34, oh, it's been a while now, but they made some enhancements for remote access because Logix wasn't, the packets were designed to be efficient for a 10 or 100 gigabit Ethernet network, whatever. And so it wasn't very optimized for remote access, especially through a smaller or a slower type of network, right? And so I don't even know what's in here. This is a student's file. I don't think this is my file. But in any case, so it kind of was doggy. We ran into this actually in the early 2000s when I was working in Rhode Island. We were using modems, 56K modems back then, and we were having a hard time, and Rockwell had to optimize that. And so here, 30 years later, we're running into it again. They got to optimize it again for remote access. This time, of course, not for dial-up modems. But in any case, let me open this up. And yeah, this is just your main routine doing all your JSRs. But in any case, let me see if I can save this. Not a large program, but it was installed, right? So just going to try it. And I'm sure you could talk to IXON if you want to do some benchmarking, with the machines you have in the field and from your office and to see how that would all go. But in any case, looks like I've just saved it. So that worked. So in any case, yeah, there's some things I'm not sure about, like, why I couldn't connect to the 1100 that way. And then in Logix, what was going on when I was doing the Who Active, that reloading, constant refreshing of that driver. I don't know what was causing that. Like it's doing it again. But, hey, we got it to work, right? And as a fallback, you always have your standard Ethernet driver. You can just punch in your IP addresses and go from there. And so with that, I'm trying to think if I forget anything. Do I have everything? No, I think that's pretty good. Let's go back to full screen. And again, I do want to thank the folks over at IXON for sending in this sample. I found it very easy to set up. The couple of things that I ran into was I couldn't leave my VMware at 192.168.1 because that's the same, that's the other side of the bridge. Both sides of the bridge of the gateway can't have the same IP address, right? And the other thing was the browser not supporting Chromium browsers, being forced to use an official, Google Chrome from Alphabet. I prefer to avoid their stuff just because they're always getting fined for breaking the law and doing things that they're not supposed to do, like many big tech companies. So, but besides that, once I got through both of those, again, I didn't do a lot of troubleshooting on those other issues. I'm sure IXON can work with you on those, but we got it working, and we got it working quickly. And it, really, to me, just making sure you get that browse port in there for RSyncs Classic, which of course you can use for both Studio 5000 and for RS Logic's, the older RS Logic's products. That seemed to work really well. So with that, I think that's it. Now, I'm going to do an after show for members. I want to make sure they get something every week. And so, because I spent so much, you guys would not believe how much time goes into making these videos. But in any case, I do want to thank IXON. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll be right back for the members. But with that, I want to wish you guys all good health and happiness. And until next time, my friends, peace.